chat room fucking screaming for you. Mr. Spat, how do you say your last name?
Octane.
Octane! Yeah. Spat Octane, welcome to the show, man. Yeah! Thanks for coming on.
I don't have any sound bites either, sorry.
You should. What's going on? Welcome to the show, man. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
So you are, a special effects
makeup artist.
Makeup.
Because there's two different things. Special effects is anything in a movie that isn't there normally, like making it look like it's raining, making smoke, that kind of stuff. That's a special effect. And then there's special effects makeup, which is the gore, the guts, the blood, the strangeness.
The good stuff.
The good stuff.
The fucking awesome shit.
But they're two different categories. But they weren't for a long time. In the like 70s, 60s, 70s, they had to create a special effects makeup category, like for the Oscars and whatnot, because it was becoming such a big thing.
Now, how did you get started with the special effects makeup artist?
I decided I wanted to scare my stepmother as a kid.
Is that how it really
So I started doing it. Really, I would commit suicide once a week to scare my stepmother. Yeah, and she would run and call 911 every time, and my dad would run and grab a camera and take a picture. And it was pretty funny.
That's very nice.
How would you stage a bathtub suicide?
Well, actually, what I did was one time I wanted to do a slit wrist.
Yeah.
And I had a razor blade with a blood pump attached, and I walked in there to go slit my wrist, and she was having like a little dinner party, and she had friends over, and I didn't know what to do. I got like suckered in. So next thing I know, I'm sitting there at the table, and I'm talking, and I was like, all right, I won't do it. And I had it like hidden in my hand, and then I got really bored, and I was like, God, just screw it. And I just slit my wrist right there at the table. Like, blood shooting all over the place, and they all start freaking out, and it was a good day. Yeah.
I'm going to get my wife with that.
We got a couple people saying in the chat room that his mic's low. Can we just turn down his mic a little bit?
Oh, sorry.
That's all right. Not your fault.
Wait, it's lower?
No, it's loud. It's loud.
Oh.
It's
I'll
loud.
talk quieter.
It just whisper.
I'll whisper like
So once a week you'd scare the shit out of your stepmom,
Just try
fucking
all
killing
strange
yourself.
things. I banged on the door with a knife stuck in my back and went stumbling in. I mean, every week I would do something strange. Yeah.
Oh my God, you're like problem child.
Did you ever cry wolf and like one day really break your arm and
come back in and all blood, man. It's like, you're just faking.
Yeah, your dad gets the camera.
This isn't a joke.
I'm like, seriously.
The bone sticking out at the elbow. He's like, help me! Help me!
So, I mean, ever since you were a kid, you've been into. How did you get into doing it on a professional level?
Actually, absolutely by accident. I was doing some stuff here in college and high school, and then I stopped for years and got a real job and did this stuff. And I had a little website called spatcave.com.
Awesome.
Where I would like post pictures and stories of weird events and strange things I did. And someone saw some pictures of some of the zombie stuff that I did in college, and thought that they were recent and hired me to do a zombie movie. And like just like that, comes up to me and he's like, oh, can you do this? And I had no idea what I was doing. Like he's like, oh, there's a part where like a guy reaches in and pulls some intestines out of the zombie and uses it as a whip to like corral other zombies. I'm like, oh, a zombie bullet, no problem, I can do that. He's like, and there's a part where a guy jumps at a zombie and goes through his stomach and comes out the other side, then stands up so the zombie is around his waist, and he starts spinning it and using it to knock away I'm like, oh, a zombie hula hoop, no problem. I made 3 of them last week. I had no idea what I was doing.
Fake it till you make it.
And that's what I did. Actually, this guy was, I made this in college. This is one of the pieces. I don't know if it's on the camera.
You can pull it right to that little camera right there. Yeah, bring it in.
I made most of it in college, and then I went back and put the side on there, the skin for this zombie movie.
That's so cool.
That is fucking
Solomon's
awesome,
Requiem,
man.
So yeah.
Now, here's a question: how do you make? Like, how long does something like that take to make? And how do you go about to make that? If you could just hold it up in front of that camera.
Well, most of the body parts are pretty easy. All you need is a homeless person and a hacksaw.
All right.
And you can usually get these pretty quick. For the most part, they're not that easy to make. The molds and stuff are pretty expensive. Especially this was out of a silicone mold, so it's really expensive. But the other stuff like life casts and faces, for $100 or $150, you can probably make a mold of someone's head if you really, on a budget.
The sad thing is, the first thing I thought when I seen that arm was giving myself an old-fashioned with it.
I would definitely fuck that hand.
Box the Jesuit with it?
I would box the Jesuit with it.
Oh, yeah. Wow. That's actually an ex-girlfriend. I made her mold in college. This is one of the first life casts I ever made. And her head's now been in like 8 movies, and she doesn't even know about it.
Did she have a tattoo that said "Pray for Death"?
No.
And she didn't like rape jokes.
So, what projects have you worked on? And out of all of them, what was your favorite project to do?
The most fun one was the recent one, which is Bad Kids Go to Hell.
Yes.
I had a blast on that set. We had so much fun. Judd Nelson's in there.
Oh, awesome. Wow.
Ben Browder from Farscape and Stargate is on that. Mark Donato, who's apparently my wife now.
Okay.
He's on Degrassi. He had he needed to extend his visa. He's Canadian, so I had to.
We're huge in Canada.
I offered to marry him. I said, they passed the law in New York. I was like, you need a visa. I'll take care of it. So he's my wife now. We joke around. And Ali Larder, who's in Twilight. Like, the cast is huge. Like, great cast. And it's basically about a bunch of kids in detention. And someone starts killing them off, and so it's the Breakfast Club meets like the Grudge.
I think we actually have the trailer for it. And if you could cue up the trailer to Bad Kids Go to Hell.
Ooh. Actually, it's premiering tomorrow.
There you go.
Very nice.
Your erroneous ways. The six of you will write a summary on the history of Crestview Academy. These finely crafted double doors will remain locked until I return.
Are you sure this place is safe?
I'm confident the six of you can survive an entire 8 hours. God forbid you actually read something.
When you mix all of these personality types together, it's no wonder a few students succumb to fits of jealousy, rage, even paranoid delusion. Happens every year. Every school. Students lash out. Parents, environment, and each other. More often you hear on the TV about that one young adult who finally snapped. Honestly, Max, it's a miracle they don't all kill each other.
Little guy was scared shitless.
Well,
there
he
you
is
go.
Arab.
Some hot chicks in that.
Yeah,
Nuts,
awesome.
dude. Holy
it was a real blast.
Now you don't see a lot of gore in the trailer.
They won't
though.
show it, and I can't wait because there's so much great gore stuff. Like,
Is there?
I kill all them motherfuckers. I kill them all. And I actually play. I'm one of the SWAT guys. I don't know if that was the trailer.
I thought it was.
I'm one of the SWAT guys that busts in at the end, and we had so much fun on set. Like, there's one scene. I don't want to give away too much, but one of the actors gets tased with a stun gun, and he came up to me while we were filming. He was like, "Well, how are you doing the taser scene?" And I had the stun gun on the table, and I was like, "Oh, we're just using the stun gun." And he's like, "Well, how do you fake it? What do you use for the prongs? Like, how do I get hit with it?" I'm like, "No, I'm just going to stun gun. I'm just going to tase it." And he's like, "What?" I'm like, "It's just so much easier than actually rigging a fake.
And we'll get a real reaction.
I'm just going to tase you." And he's like, "You can't do that." And goes to the producer, goes to the director, goes crying, and everybody's like, "No, we got to do it. It's the only way to do it." And then the producer comes over and he's like, Baz, as we call him. He's like, "How many stun gun cartridges do you have?" And I'm like, 8. He's like, "So we can tase him 8 times before we have to?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "What are you talking about?" This actor is freaking out the whole time until finally somebody had to let it go. That we
do you come across a lot of that, especially doing the gore stuff where people are like, "Oh, I don't really like that.
Oh, no, I don't want to get blood on me. I don't want this. I don't want to get all the
Too
time."
bad.
I imagine that'd be so fucking fun.
Hell yeah.
You would think,
No,
yeah.
oh, man.
Well, in the trailer, you saw that part where Allie gets the blood squirt in the face.
Yeah.
And when we were practicing it, I was just doing a little squirts. It was just like a little drop and, doing the thing.
Right.
But then when it came time for the take, I gave it a good squeeze and right in the face.
It's fucking awesome.
Now, you mentioned your first project being a zombie film. Do you think, as a society, we've kind of gone too far with the obsession with the zombies?
No, I think you should go even further and come to spatcave.com and buy your own zombie
There you go.
appliances.
Listen, we love the
Custom
plug.
made. There's a place now, they do like a tour around the country, around the U.S., where it's a zombie obstacle course, where it's like a race. Have you seen?
We actually were going to talk about that.
Yeah,
Run for your
I was
lives,
like,
yeah.
I couldn't believe it. And you can You can pay to be a zombie or pay to race.
Right,
You
you
get to
you
run
pay
around
$25 to be a zombie
and
it's
get
like 80
chased.
bu-
Yeah, get chased. It was
It's
hilarious.
like $85 to actually race.
That's
and
kinda
then you
awesome.
see a lot of paintball fields and
Yeah,
stuff
they
like
do that
doing
as
all this
well.
stuff.
There's a lot of guys that do the airsofting, zombie airsoft stuff. Yeah.
But you don't think that? I mean, I've been a zombie fan for the longest now. I mean, you don't think that it's kind of become such a mainstream thing?
It's gonna have to. Something's gonna have to.
I mean, it's great
overpass
for
it.
your
That's the
business. Don't get me
problem.
wrong. It's great for
Right.
you.
Well, for a while it was all vampires. It was all vampires, but with a little zombies. Now it's all zombies, and something's got to overtake it. I don't know what it's going to be. If werewolves are going to suddenly step up,
Sasquatches.
yeah.
I like the idea.
The
of
Yeti.
Hey, Spat, what do you enjoy more? Do you enjoy the old, like, Dario Argento movies, or do you enjoy...
I
Like,
got to be honest with you, I don't even watch horror movies.
You don't?
I'm like one of those guys.
That's awesome.
I honestly don't watch horror movies. They scare the crap out of me. But I like to make things. I like to figure out how to do it. Like,
That's awesome,
It's
man.
one of those things. For me, it's like a game. It's like, how am I going to make it? It's like a magic trick. It's all about illusion. It's all about how do I make it look like this person's face just got torn off without actually tearing their face off.
That's awesome.
And that's what that's what I enjoy. So.
Now, when it comes down to say, like someone getting stabbed through the chest or a head getting cut off, are you part of the process of the actual killing in that situation, or are you more a part of the aftermath?
Usually I'll be the one going over with the director what best angle to do to make it work for me. There was a movie I did which actually came out today, Bullets Over Brownsville.
Okay.
I don't know if you have that trailer about it.
I don't have that trailer, but I heard of it.
It's a weird, very fantastic movie, and we actually filmed it in Brownsville in Brooklyn.
Okay.
And it was probably one of the scariest films I've ever been on, because while we were filming, there were gunshots going off a reel, like all around us. It was really scary. But there was a scene where this one girl just walks up to a guy in the street, just starts stabbing him in the stomach.
Oh, nice.
And we had to make a rig, like a little fake chest rig, and film it in such a way that it would look like this guy's just getting riddled, like 30 stabs, like in 30 seconds. You know, just really quick.
You hear actors like I know it was in Inglourious Bastards where they took a class on actually how to scalp somebody because they were scalping all the Nazis. Is that something that you'll look into and kind of go over with the director and all that stuff?
In Bullets Over Brownsville, everybody on set, basically most of the actors, were real gangsters living in there. One of the things that happened was I came in and they're like, oh, well, in this scene, all the guys are showing off all their bullet holes, all the times they've been shot. I'm like, oh, I can make an old bullet wound, no problem. They're like, no, they have bullet wounds. We just want you to make them look a little bit more fresh. Like, it was that kind of movie. Like, that was really scary. So they knew exactly how to stab somebody, jackrabbit style in the stomach. I just had to make it so that it didn't hurt anybody.
Now, are there a lot of times in a movie like you're actually like you said, you're not a fan of horror movies?
Right.
I'd imagine there are times where I'm actually kind of a little scared. Have you come across anything like that?
Not really, because, well, like I said, I was only scared because I thought it was
You're in
actually
Brooklyn,
gonna
you
die.
get shot.
But for the most part, for the gore stuff, I don't really, I don't get scared by gore. It's just, honestly, horror movies don't really do it for me, like the gore and the guts just for the sake of gore and guts. I'm not really into. If it's a horror movie that's got a story that's interesting, that's, got something going on, then that's a different story. But
awesome.
for, just splattering blood on people and, like the original Friday the 13th, I loved. All the sequels I could throw out, I could care less about.
Right. All right, we're going to take a quick break. More coming up with you. You're sticking around. We're going to show off some weaponry and your phone calls. If you want to talk to Spat about anything. Really more of the makeup artist. I keep on fucking up that title. Just, what are you?
Goremeister.
Goremeister. I like that. And your
Can you
phone
do that?
calls, 914-595-4871 or Skype us on Zadal's NY. We'll be right back.